to be in their lives. You need to be, I always say, in their business as much as you can.
For Tara, memories of Brittany are as clear as a snapshot. Like that day on Lake Ontario.
Some of my favorite memories with Brittany is just going to Charlotte Beach, and we were wearing the same shirt, different colors. We were both wearing bright blue eyeshadow, and we were just writing in the sand, and we were taking all these photos of just us in the sand.
They were so young, and imagine they were invulnerable, especially when they weren't.
That's all for now. I'm Lester Holt. Thanks for joining us.
Live on NBC 12, this is News Watch 12 Weekend.
Good evening, I'm Jake Force, and thank you for tuning in to News Watch 12 at 10. A deadly quadruple shooting in Milwaukee today, killing a 21-year-old and injuring at least 3 others in the city's uptown neighborhood. WTMJ's Talil Mohaldin has the latest.
Dispatch 34, we need 2 additional med units. We have Med 13 transport 1 to Freighter. We have CPR in progress.
Just before 1 p.m. Sunday, neighbors say the sound of gunfire filled this neighborhood on 51st and Center.
And all I hear is gunshots, and I looked out the window, and I think somebody got shot.
Witnesses who were not comfortable showing their face on camera say the incident began with a disagreement. They described a large group of people arguing for more than an hour before the shooting started.
I seen a man, he had 2 guns, and he was another man on a bike, and he was riding on the bike shooting the gun.
What was going through your mind?
To get down, to save myself.
Police say the quadruple shooting that happened here appears to be related to domestic violence, and that all 4 victims exchanged gunshots with unknown suspects. Police also say a 21-year-old victim died at the scene. 3 others, all in their 20s, were taken to the hospital, where at least 2 are fighting for their lives. A Sunday afternoon shooting that has neighbors here grateful to be alive.
I was running for my life because it could have been like they could have shot around the chicken place, and the bullet could have hit either one of us in there.
And anyone with any information on that shooting is asked to contact the Milwaukee police. President Joe Biden is expected to meet with 4 top congressional leaders at the White House on Tuesday. The top 4 leaders include House Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. According to a White House official, President Biden will press lawmakers on passing an emergency aid package for Ukraine, Israel, and the Indo-Pacific. The $95 billion national security package cleared the Senate on a 70-29 vote earlier this month, but Speaker Johnson has been resistant to put up the aid bill for a vote in the House. President Biden will also push for legislation to avert a looming government shutdown ahead of next month. Passing legislation would keep the federal government operating through the end of September. The Palestinian Ministry of Health says more than 29,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza since the October 7th attacks. The ministry says that includes 86 in the past 24 hours. Some victims are still trapped under rubble or left on roads, they added. The numbers emerged as CNN obtained new videos of the once prosperous Sheikh Radwan neighborhood of Gaza City showing widespread destruction and damage to buildings and garbage piled in the street. Nearly every building in sight along Al-Jalaa Street was either damaged or destroyed. Conrad, it's getting warmer out there, but not for long.
Yes, Jake, we have been warming up, especially last 24 hours, but get ready. 50s are going to be back Monday into Tuesday, even some 60s in some spots by Tuesday. Earlier this morning, though, 20s in the area, still well above average, but it definitely felt a little cooler by those early morning hours, especially for me going to church. But look at this, a nice rebound in temperatures, 40s all over the area, some mid-40s up into the UP, where some thicker snow is still on the ground. Not for long. long, though. 50s right down the board. Merrill, Wausau, and then, of course, into Marshfield area. Check out Stevens Point, 52 degrees. Wapaka, 56 earlier today. So very close to record high temperatures once again. I feel like we've been saying that all throughout this winter. Now, the snow is long gone. You got to go all the way up into the UP, closer to Marquette, and then east of that to still get into a couple of inches of snow that are on the ground for now, but they're going to continue to melt the next couple of days. Now, overall, though, we saw lots of sunshine today all throughout those afternoon hours. Now we are still seeing a few passing clouds, but not much going on precipitation-wise in our neck of the woods. Overnight tonight, though, we're going to continue to cool off, a few passing clouds. Temperatures around 21 degrees. Jake?
Thanks, Conrad. A man is in critical condition after he set himself on fire outside the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. today. Police responded and paramedics took the man to the hospital. The man's identity does remain unknown, and no one at the embassy was hurt. The incident is under further investigation. Area firefighters gathered at the Arborvita Fire Department yesterday for a class on vehicle extrication safety. An Arborvita fire captain spoke to Newswatch 12 about how the process goes and why it's important for first responders to stay fresh on safety tactics.
Vehicle extrication is becoming as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than structure fires because of all the hazards. So firefighters have to stay on their toes with the techniques.
Fire departments from Minocqua, Woodruff, Hazelhurst, Plum Lake, and Boulder Junction joined the Arborvita Fire Department on Saturday for a class on vehicle extrication. As Arborvita Captain Mike Sippen said, it's more complicated than simply pulling a person out of a crashed car.
It's not just a matter of going up to the car, using tools to cut it open. As you can see behind me, if we have a vehicle on the side, it's very unstable. We have to make that vehicle stable to make it safe for us, as well as the patients inside the car, in order to get them out safely.
Sippen emphasized what many firefighters refer to as the golden hour and how it forces first responders to be safe but fast at the same time.
It's the time period we have to get a patient out of a car, a patient who is seriously injured. And that hour begins the moment the accident happens. And 60 minutes later, statistics have shown that chances of survival for a very seriously injured patient drop dramatically.
Sippen also noted that different departments working together is an important part of the training, as they sometimes have to pool their resources when responding to an accident.
Any one of our departments could not have enough staffing, so by bringing everybody together here today, we're working together, getting to know each other better, seeing the tools and equipment that we have. It could be one big accident in one department's jurisdiction that we're all going to be at because we need that equipment. So this is just something that really helps us.
Coming up, it was a tremendous show of support at the Nashville Town Hall today as hundreds gathered to raise funds for a local man battling stage 4 cancer. We'll have more on that after Weather with Conrad when we come back.
Buy 3 Goodyear tires and get one free during the leap year deal at Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. Plus, get up to $200 back on a select set of 4 installed tires when you use a Goodyear credit card. Buy 3 and 1 is free in February. Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. Find your location at SherrillTire.com.
For the most up-to-the-minute information on school closings, visit WJFW.com on your computer, tablet, or your phone. WJFW School Closings is sponsored by People's State Bank, Builders Service Incorporated, and Merrill Steel.
It's open season on cancer. Help us raise money for the Ronald McDonald House of Marshfield by purchasing a hat, an H2O Go bottle, or other special items. With your donation of $20, you'll receive over $50 in valuable coupons, and a $10 donation is given to the Ronald McDonald House. Purchase items at Cost Cutters of Central Wisconsin, the Barber's Family Hairstyling, Mullins Cheese in Knowlton, Chase Outdoors in the Cedar Creek Mall. It's open season on cancer, a season that never ends.
What are you guys doing?
We're excited for the American Marine Boat Show.
Yeah!
Join the excitement for the absolute best boat and pontoon deals you will find anywhere. Only this week at American Marine and Motorsports in Shawano. We're matching deposits up to $1,000. Or we will beat any competing price by $500. Don't be left out in the cold. Get to the American Marine Boat Show this week, Thursday through Sunday, Shawano.
The Diocese of La Crosse televised Mass, Sundays at 6:30 a.m. on this station. Please join Bishop Callahan and the priests and faithful of the diocese Sunday mornings at 6:30 a.m.
Buy 3 Goodyear tires and get 1 free during the leap year deal at Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. Plus, get up to $200 back on a select set of 4 installed tires when you use a Goodyear credit card. Buy 3 and 1 is free in February. Sherrill Tire and Auto Service. Find your location at SherrillTire.com.
Good evening and welcome back. Wow, look at this. Most of the country is pretty clear of any precipitation. You got to go closer to Seattle, Portland area, getting in on some rain. And then check this out. Oregon, most of Northern California, not too bad. A little bit of clouds by Los Angeles. That's going to be your next low pressure system, tracking like this, pretty much right across the center part of the country. For now, though, not much going on, just a few passing clouds in our neck of the woods. So it is pretty calm in talking about precipitation, but not for long, though. Just wait till Tuesday and Wednesday. Now, the jet stream is going to continue to bring the storms right off the coast into California, especially Southern California, closer to Las Vegas, closer to Denver as well. And then by Tuesday, we're talking severe weather in the center part of the country, right about here, and then into St. Louis, northern Illinois, and even southern Wisconsin. We're talking some severe weather, possibly back in the forecast Tuesday into Tuesday night. Yeah, not looking like a normal winter, especially into February. For our area here, northern Wisconsin, we're going to see near record highs on Tuesday. Very sharp cold front coming by. And then we're going to see some rain and snow, mainly becoming snow into those after pretty much overnight hours on Tuesday, into those early morning hours on Wednesday. Still several days away. Still a long time to say exactly how much snow we're going to get. But for now, we're thinking maybe 1 to 3 inches here in town. Some spots will definitely get a little bit more as those temperatures start to cool off, and you can see where that cold front is right about here by around 9-10 p.m. on Tuesday, and it's going to continue to cross the state and the country. Not going to last here for long, though. We're going to stay cold for like 2 days and then right back to 40s, 50s, and even some 60s back by next week. So, temperature-wise, though, right, we've seen red down the board, well above average temperatures, only 2 days with temperatures below average, and then 30s, 40s, 50s, those darker red colors indicating near record high temperatures Wednesday into Thursday. So several days ago, it was warm. It felt like spring. Then it cooled down a little bit, right back up to near record highs once again. 48 degrees, that's what we had earlier today. Tomahawk at 50, Merrill 51, Wausau's at 50, and look at Stevens Point, Wapaka area, closer to mid-50s in some spots. Not even close to being normal for this time of year, folks. Our average is around 31 degrees, record high, 58 in 1931, so we weren't anywhere near that, but pretty close, within 9 to 10 degrees. Now, buckle up, my friends. We're looking at 59 by Tuesday. Look at that record low. Yep, we're looking at 12 degrees as a low temperature back by Tuesday night as snow starts to move back into the area. And then we're going to see that up and down type of trend continuing like we have been seeing the last couple of months. 59 on Tuesday, like I said, really cold overnight lows. By Wednesday, high temperature around 19, warming right back up to the 40s and near record highs, 50s, even some 60s back by next weekend. Unbelievable stuff. I've never seen anything like this. And we are going to remember this winter for the rest of our lives. Incredible stuff. I've talked to so many people. They haven't seen anything like this ever, even in the last 50 to 60 years. These warm temperatures will be continuing. We're going to get that push, warmer air all the way up into Canada into beginning of March. So it does not look good at all for any winter activities like I've been forecasting the last month and a half. For tonight, though, 21 degrees, mainly clear skies, and a light breeze. For tomorrow, though, near record highs, low 50s, some mid 50s in some areas. Really windy conditions, though, as we continue to stay mostly sunny. Our 7-day outlook brought to you by Northwoods Furniture and Mattress does show a little bit of rain and snow, becoming all snow Tuesday night into Wednesday, and then we warm back up into the 40s and near record highs by next weekend. Jake?
It's been an unusual winter and a weird one for a lot of us. Thanks so much, Conrad. Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley is losing an important source of funding for her campaign. The conservative advocacy group Americans for Prosperity, otherwise known as AFP, announced it's pulling the plug on donations to the Haley campaign after she lost to Donald Trump in South Carolina's primary on Saturday. The group is affiliated with the Koch family. A spokesperson says while the group supports Haley's efforts to stay in the race, it does not believe any outside group can help at this point expand her path to victory. AFP Action had paid for ads and had field operations for months last year trying to convince Republican voters to back someone other than former President Donald Trump. But now that Trump is close to wrapping up the GOP nomination for president, the group says it will focus its efforts on the upcoming Senate and House races. A judge in Montgomery, Alabama, was hospitalized on Saturday after being seriously injured in a domestic shooting. The Montgomery County Sheriff's Office was called to Circuit Judge Johnny Hardwick's home in response to a domestic situation. Upon arrival, deputies learned that the judge had been shot by his son, Kalfani Hardwick. Investigators say Kalfani then left the scene after the shooting, but he was soon located and arrested. The 36-year-old is now charged with first-degree domestic violence and possessing a firearm. He is being held at the Montgomery County Detention Facility without bond. Kalfani Hardwick also pleaded guilty to a second-degree assault charge in 2014, but served no prison time. And credit card debt in the U.S. is surging. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York says credit card debt hit a new high of $1.1 trillion from October through December. LendingTree says the average unpaid credit card balance was more than $6,800 in the fourth quarter. But some economists say the debt level is not as alarming as it might seem. They say workers are still commanding robust wage gains, the stock market is on solid footing, and attitudes towards the economy have improved dramatically in recent months. Economists also say after adjusting for inflation, the current level is 20% below a peak it reached in late 2008 after the financial crisis. It was a beautiful sight in the town of Nashville today as the community showed up in droves to raise funds for Mark Pitts and his family. Pitts was devastatingly diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer back in December, and the owner of Wolf's River Inn, where his wife Melanie and many of his kids also work, decided to bring the community together for today's event. I caught up with them today to learn more.
The winning number is 45 on game 9. Number 45, you were the winner on game 9.
We just felt that there was a need to try to help them out with Mark's loss of wages and to just kind of take the burden off so that they could just concentrate on his health and well-being and not have to worry about how they were going to be able to afford other things that they would need.
It was a packed house at the Nashville Town Hall today as the community showed out to support the family of Mark Pitts amid his fight against stage 4 colon cancer. Barb Wolf owns Wolf's River Inn in Elko, where Mark's wife Melanie and a few of their kids have worked for a long time. Wolf organized today's event that featured food, drinks, and a host of raffle giveaways and prizes, with proceeds going to the Pitts family. She said the support from the community has been overwhelming.
I can't express how much love and gratitude was given to us in donations, fishing packages and cabin rentals and Packer tickets and all these things that we are going to honor the donors by trying to turn that into cash so that we can take and help the Pitts family.
Wolf said neither her nor the Pitts family expected nearly as big of a turnout as they got today, but that the showing is a great display of small communities coming together during times of need.
We didn't realize that it was going to be this big. We thought that we would just do a small fundraiser and just help them out a little bit. And like I said, coming from a small community, everybody just came out of the woodwork.
Pitts' son Richard said he and his siblings cannot express enough gratitude to everyone who has helped their family during a very trying time.
It means a lot to us to see all these people here supporting our family and loving us, coming out, all the donations, all the money spent here, the love. It's all going for a good cause, you know. Can't thank these people enough.
Menke Automotive, locally owned and employee-focused, so our team creates a great atmosphere. Our showroom is packed with the trusted American brand GMC and more. Menke Automotive, we work hard to exceed your automotive expectations.
Stretch your tax refund by shopping at Home Furniture and Design. We pay your tax. Shop our entire showroom and we'll take care of the tax on your purchase. If you don't have your tax refund yet, ask about special financing. Why wait? Shop for any room in your home. Stretch your tax refund at Home Furniture and Design and we'll pay your tax. Come see us today.
How many times have you searched the same thing? What to make for dinner, kid-friendly meals, easy party food. Stop searching and look no further than the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with new recipes every day on Newswatch 12 Today and Newswatch 12 at 6. The Test Kitchen has you covered for every meal, snack, and craving. Now, how many ways can you say, ooh, it's so good? Mr. Food Test Kitchen, brought to you by Golden Carrot Jewelers and Rhinelander Cafe and Pub.
Hi, we're Tim and Judy from Tomahawk Monument Company.
When we want the forecast for Tomahawk, we go to WJFW.com and check our hometown weather.
Your hometown weather, available 24/7 at WJFW.com.
Hey guys, check out all this delicious, locally roasted coffee.
That's why the best way to start your day is with a cup of coffee from Eagle River Roasters.
Newswatch 12 Today wants to get that coffee to you through the Mugshot Monday contest.
Menke Automotive, locally owned and employee-focused, so our team creates a great atmosphere. Our showroom is packed with the trusted American brand GMC and more. Menke Automotive, we work hard to exceed your automotive expectations.
Welcome back. 24 Starlink satellites were launched to low Earth orbit by SpaceX today. SpaceX launched a Falcon 9 rocket carrying the satellites from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. Following stage separation, the first stage will land on the, quote, a shortfall of gravitas, unquote, drone ship stationed in the Atlantic Ocean. This was the 13th flight for the first stage boosters supporting this mission. It has previously launched CRS-24, SES-18, and SES-19, as well as 8 Starlink missions. And former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro led a large rally in Sao Paulo today to defend himself against allegations that he was involved in an attempted coup. Thousands of his supporters showed up after the former leader urged them earlier this month to rally, quote, in defense of the democratic rule of law, unquote. Bolsonaro called the rally days after a lawyer confirmed he was being investigated over an alleged plot to keep him in office after the 2022 presidential election, which he lost to Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva. The Brazilian federal police announced on February 8th that they were investigating a, quote, attempt to stage a coup to remain in power. Bolsonaro said on Sunday he insisted that he is being persecuted without directly mentioning the institutions handling the investigation. CNN Brazil reported. Congress has until Friday to pass a funding deal and avoid a partial government shutdown. With only 5 days until the March 1st deadline, federal departments and agencies that will be impacted are already updating their shutdown plans in the event a funding deal is not passed. Jen Sullivan looks at what it will take to avoid a partial shutdown and what Republicans and Democrats want to see in a spending deal.
Time is running out for Congress to pass a spending bill and avoid a partial government shutdown. Lawmakers have until midnight Friday to pass a deal. One of the major issues under debate is $118 billion in aid for Ukraine. It's something many Democrats and Republicans are pushing for.
Not only the future of Ukraine is on the line, which is extremely important, but the larger battle against authoritarianism is on the line.
Ukraine will not fail under our watch. There's too much at stake here. This is not just about Ukraine. This is about freedom versus dictatorships. This is about truth versus propaganda.
This will be the fourth time since September that lawmakers have been up against a funding deadline. Lawmakers keep passing short-term stopgap deals. In January, they extended some funding for Veterans Affairs, Agriculture, and Housing and Urban Development through March 1st. Funding for the rest of the government expires March 8th. Many Republicans don't want to pass a spending plan until they see changes in immigration and border security.
You either secure the border or you get no money for the government.
But now some right-wing conservative Republicans want to halt border changes. Their critics are accusing them of not taking action to help their chances of winning the White House in November.
That is not good for America. They know that, and they are putting Trump and Trump's personal interests ahead of the good of our country.
I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
And during the last government shutdown in 2018 and 19, an estimated 420,000 federal employees worked without pay and another 380,000 were furloughed. The Milwaukee Bucks were looking to win their second game post-All-Star break when they took on the Philadelphia 76ers today. Coming up on Newswatch 12, Will Harrelson joins us with the Bucks' latest highlight.
Nicolay Law, Russell Nicolay speaking. Yeah, I'm the guy on the billboards. You got me. Whoa, 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 man. If they want the real Nicolay, they... Wait, you are the real Nicolay. I'm the real Nicolay. You're the real Nicolay. I'm the real Nicolay. You're the real Nicolay. We're both the real Nicolay. Hey, man, you better get back to that phone call. Oh, thanks. Yeah, sorry about that. Just talking to myself. Yeah, you got the real Nicolay here. Yeah, we can help you. Yep, billboards, baby.
Sure, it's nice to have my 3 older kids home to visit.
Oh yeah, I love coming home. I miss having soft water.
That's why I bring my laundry home on the weekend.
It's so much better for my hair too, but you wouldn't know anything about that, Corey.
Well, that's why my hair looks so nice and moisturized. Well, what do you know about moisturized hair? Well, having 2 older sisters and a brother who only showers a couple times a week helps.
Well, actually, 72 years of treating water in Wisconsin is our family story. You kids are pretty well versed in water.
So let us make your family's water better today.
Around here, Jack Frost nips more than just your nose. That's why Wisconsin gets Honda. Dependable all-wheel drive with traction control, with heated steering wheel and seats to keep Jack Frost off your seat, which will make it very happy. And since it's no fun to fill up in this weather, isn't it cool that Honda is known for legendary fuel efficiency? New Hondas are arriving daily, but so is Mr. Frost. So see your Wisconsin Heartland Honda dealer today. Honda gets Wisconsin.
Who are we? We are a locally owned and operated business serving our community for over 60 years. We have expanded to 3 locations with over 1 million square feet of combined production space. We have an elite workforce of over 400 employees. We have built stadiums for the Vegas Raiders, Indianapolis Colts, Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, and more. Who are we? There's only one answer.
For the most up-to-the-minute information on school closings, visit WJFW.com on your computer, tablet, or your phone. WJFW School Closings is sponsored by People's State Bank, Builders Service Incorporated, and Merrill Steel.
What? I'm in love with whoever made this country fried steak. Can I borrow a pen?
Love letter?
5 meals for under $10. Only at Perkins.
The WIAA State Wrestling Tournament took place this weekend, and many area athletes had success on the mats in Madison. Wittenberg-Burnhamwood's Brooke Huffman was the girls' state champion at 185 pounds. The freshman won all 41 of her matches this season. Gage Lozowitz of Medford took home state championship of his own, fighting at 157 pounds in Division II. Easton Cooper of DC Everest had a runner-up finish at 126 pounds in Division I. Savannah Danielson of Wausau West was also a runner-up this weekend in girls' 114-pound category. Avery Lozowitz of Medford had a top 3 finish of her own, finishing in 3rd in the girls' 126-pound category. It has been a good start to the second half of the season for the Milwaukee Bucks, and they look to stay hot with a win against the short-handed 76ers. The Bucks currently sit in third in the Eastern Conference, and with a win, Milwaukee could crawl their way back up to second in the conference. So let's see how things played out when these rivals faced off in Philly. First quarter action here. Lillard has the ball for the Bucks, and he takes it up the court, attacks the lane, and takes it to the hole using the left hand for the bucket, and Milwaukee is on the board first. End of the second quarter now. Sixers get a tip in with seconds to go, but look at Giannis as he turns into Jordan Love and hits Lopez on the deep ball, and Milwaukee scores right before halftime. On to the fourth. Giannis has it for the Bucks. He takes it into the lane before kicking it out to Pat Connaughton. Pat gets it right back to Giannis, who uses a shot fake to get the defender, then hits the and one. Bucks win their second straight game as they take down Philly 119-98. The Marquette Golden Eagles were back on the floor as they played host to the Xavier Musketeers at the Pfizer Forum. Marquette comes into the day ranked 7th in the nation and are 19-6 overall on the season and currently sit in second in the Big East Conference. This day was all about Cam Jones. Here in the first half, off the catch, he buries the three, and Xavier's lead is down to 2. Later in the half, Kolek with the dribble, hands off to Jones, who hits another three-pointer. Marquette would go on into the break, leading by 10. Now, into the second half, Jones is going to feed Oso Ighodaro, who finishes with the bucket as Marquette is pulling away. Back to Jones after a miss. Marquette with an offensive rebound, and it finds its way to Jones, who hits another three. He had 34 on the night. This one, all Marquette. They win it 88-64. The second round of the WIAA girls basketball tournaments are over, so let's take a look at some of the remaining teams in our area. Lakeland Union wins a 70-69 nail-biter to move on and take on top-seeded Menominee in the Division II bracket. In Division III, top-seeded Wittenberg Burnham Wood move on to face Freedom after their 66-36 win over Menominee Indian. In D4, Phillips had a date with top-seeded McDonald Catholic after their 79-73 overtime win over Cameron. And in D5, Leona Wabino has a matchup with top-seeded Lena. We'll have more for you right after the break.
It's the final weeks of one of our biggest sales. Get this comfy reclining sofa for just $555. Great deal. Get up to 60% off list during our huge President's Sale at Slumberland. Get a gorgeous leather sofa for just $699. This rich wood storage bed for just $999. A relaxing recliner? Just $397. Hurry for the best deals, like this modern sectional for just $848. And totally free shipping. The huge President's Sale at Slumberland. Final weeks of the best time to buy.
For most of the people that walk in our store, it's been an ongoing, non-stop issue, and they're finally walking into the Good Feet store. Okay, the guy that came into my store last year that has had plantar fasciitis for 30 years. I looked at him, I said, "Are you kidding me? I've been here for 14. Where have you been?" I helped relieve a problem that's plagued him for 30 years. I mean, how do you not go home and talk about that?
See for yourself with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
This is Ford Truck Month with amazing offers across an amazing lineup of Ford trucks. Make way for the event that only comes around once a year, featuring the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Super Duty, the North American Truck of the Year. Get ready and get to Ford Truck Month. Now get an F-150 with 1.9% APR for 72 months, plus 1,000 trade assist cash. See your Wisconsin Ford dealer.
Ready, set, go! Boat show, boat show, boat show!
Can't wait to get on the water? Then get to the biggest and best boat show this week, only at American Marine and Motorsports in Shawano. We're matching deposits up to $1,000, or we will beat any competing prize by $500. Don't be left out in the cold all year. Get your new boat at the American Marine Boat Show this week, Thursday through Sunday, Shawano.
Boat show, boat show, boat show, boat show!
For over 100 years, Sterling Optical has helped stylish people stay that way. But we don't think high style should have a high price. Because when we offer a complete pair of eyeglasses for $99, we're talking brands you love at a price you won't find anywhere else. $99 for a complete pair of designer eyeglasses. Just one more reason people keep coming back to Sterling Optical for all their vision needs. Book your appointment today. Sterling Optical, always in style.
Our Newswatch 12 news team works around the clock to bring you the news that matters most to the Northwoods. NBC Newswatch 12, from where you live.
And that'll do it for us tonight, but don't forget to wake up early with Michael and Jackie tomorrow at 5 for Newswatch 12 mornings. From all of us here at Newswatch 12, thanks for watching and have a great night.
Dear Winter, our squad of vehicles with all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive is ready. Bundle up. Toyota. Get 4.99% APR for 60 months plus $1,500 cash back on Tundra Hybrid. Toyota. Let's go places.
Menards 11% off everything's happening now, making it a great time for upgrading appliances. We carry top brands including KitchenAid, Maytag, Whirlpool, Amana, and Criterion. Upgrade your kitchen with this 5-cycle stainless steel dishwasher. On sale for $5.98. Plus, save an additional